Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I decided to do a video that could be a little awkward. I've always had questions for sighted people, but I've never really asked them because it's weird to say it directly to people. So I thought I would ask my somewhat weird questions in a video. Makes it less awkward, kind of, and I might get them answered. So, here's questions I've always wanted to ask sighted people. First of all, colors. Those baffle me. I mean, obviously, I'm not expecting anyone to really be able to explain colors to me because I've never seen colors and there's just no way I can, comprehend what that is. But, there are just so many shades of the same color. Like, you have light green, dark green, then people talk about blue, then they talk about turquoise, and it's so weird. I'm like, how do you keep track of all that? My brain would explode. And then there's the concept of a rainbow. To me, that is the equivalent of a party. And I'm not saying that in a good way. I hate parties. Parties are very loud music, very loud people, and just overall sensory overload of noise. So to me, a rainbow is a mixture of colors and therefore a sensory overload of colors. So I don't know. I'm not really getting how that's so great. I mean, one of the mysteries of sighted people. And then we have shadows. I never understood what that was. I mean, an outline of something, I guess. And it usually happens when it's dark. So do you, have your shadow, following you around all the time? And if you do, that's creepy. I mean, that sounds pretty ghosty to me. Are you just walking and suddenly you see something behind you and you jump and you turn around and it's just your shadow creeping? I mean, that's creepy. I don't really like that idea. And then there's lightning. I mean, I understand being scared of thunder, but because thunder is like this boom. But isn't lightning just light? Like a lot of light? Why are we so terrified of this? I mean, I totally understand if you're out in it, you don't want to get struck by lightning. But why is it so scary? I never got that. And then we have stars. I don't know, for some reason, I think because of the sound effects that, when you talk about stars on TV, there's always, this cling sound effect that happens in shows or in... I used to have this book, and you would press on the star and it would make a sound like a triangle. You know, the musical triangles. So I always kind of pictured, little musical triangles on strings just hanging. Obviously, I know that's not a star, but, I don't know. I've always been really fascinated with outer space, probably because it's something I can't see. The idea of, no gravity is fascinating, because I always thought it'd be cool to fly. Or float. I mean, that'd be like being in water all the time. Kind of cool. But, seeing stars and planets has always sort of fascinated me. So yeah, those are the obscure concepts. But then I have some more, I guess kind of simpler questions to answer. So my first one is, what's a figure 8? I've been hearing that a lot in all the water fitness classes I'm in. I actually looked up what an 8 looked like on my letter stencils, and it's 2 circles. And I don't think that's what you're supposed to be doing when they say make figure 8s. So, I don't know. But it's something I just don't want to ask because it's awkward and weird and everybody, I don't know. It's just something that everybody knows that I don't know that will draw attention, and it's just, hence why it's just easier to do it here. Hopefully somebody will answer my question. And here's another thing I've always wondered. This is more for mobility teachers. So mobility is basically where they teach you how to travel with your cane. And, but when I was really little, they used to teach us what they call gestures. Yes, no, shrug, come here, and pointing. Pointing was my favorite of all the gestures. And I remember I used to, I'm assuming it's because when I was little, I used to have occupational therapy to strengthen my hands. So everybody was excited when I finally got the hand motion down. And so I remember getting like huge praise when I finally learned how to point. Then, I started pointing at people and everybody loved it at school. It was practically a show every time I pointed because I'd get a round of applause. So I thought that I'd try it out in public. I would point at random strangers and go, look, there's that one over there. And I would get in trouble because it's rude to point. But I love doing it. Like, there was just something so thrilling about pointing that finger in the air. I don't know why. But my thrill apparently wasn't everybody else's thrill because I would get in trouble all the time. So my question is, why are you teaching this to blind people? I mean, I understand that sighted kids are going to learn it by watching and they'll do it. But if we never know how to do it, we'll never get in trouble for it, or we'll never get excited to know how to do it or whatever. I mean, maybe I'm just a weirdo who just loved pointing. But I don't know. I just felt like, okay, you could have saved me a lot of trouble if you'd never taught me how to do that. So what do you point at if you can't point at people? What is that sign for? I don't understand. Sighted people mystery. And here's my last question for now. I think I'll probably do this again sometime as questions come up, in my spiraling brain. Speaking of spiraling brain, this one is a spiraling brain question. So, okay. I have sort of this insecurity where I can never say hello and then say a person's name because I never know for sure if I'm talking to who I think I'm talking to. So if I greet you, I will never say, hi, and then followed by your name. I will just say, hi. And that's usually okay because most people figure I know who they are. And usually I do. But there is the occasion when I don't. And so a hi will, save me from the humiliation of just saying the wrong name. I'll figure it out eventually. But, and they don't need to know that I don't know their name. But, does it ever drive you crazy when you see someone and you think you know them, but you're not sure? To the point that it bothers you for the rest of the day? That is what happens to me. I'm not sure if this is a blind people thing. So here is what happened with my latest sort of encounter with the situation. It was my first time doing open swim at the Y. I had gone with Mom to a water fitness class before, just once. And it was actually my first time in the public pool by myself without a parent when I went to open swim this next time. But I was kind of familiar with the pool from going with my mom. So I was swimming, minding my own business, when suddenly this guy comes swimming really quickly toward me, and somebody rescued me from getting trampled. And she kind of wrapped her arms around me and carefully moved me out of the way. And then she said, there you go, kiddo. And I was like, is this my fitness instructor? But I didn't want to ask her because I was embarrassed to ask her. So I said, thank you, ma'am, and kept going. But then the idea of knowing who that person was bothered me so much because I needed to know that it was her. So instead of looking for her and asking, are you Liz? No, what do? I become a creeper and look for her and kind of position myself near where I thought she was and then pretend to be doing aerobics exercises while I basically listen to the conversations around me to see if I catch her voice. No, that's not creepy at all, is it? So then I finally do hear her voice, and I'm like, then I go into a whole other spiral because now I'm like, oh, goody, it was her. And I basically just pretended like I didn't know who she was. Next time I see her, she's going to be mad at me because I didn't know who she was and I pretended not to know who she was. So that's how my mind was going for an entire week until I saw her again. And of course, because she's not a crazy person, she didn't immediately confront me and go, how dare you not say hello to me? It's just my crazy brain. So, I just wondered, like, am I the only one who spirals like this, or do other people think like this? I don't know. For some reason, saying, hi, Liz, or hi, whoever's name is one of the scariest things because I just cannot be wrong. I am terrified of getting the name wrong because that's embarrassing. And yet, I was right. And it was her, and yeah, I don't know, like, I just wonder, like, do you, like, spend a week, like, wondering if you recognize somebody's face before you finally give it up? I'm sure that not everybody goes around creeping on people the way I do, trying to figure out if this is who I thought it was, but yeah, I don't know. Thinking back on it now, it sounds insane. But the funny thing is, the most insane part is that I called her ma'am, because now knowing her, after like 4 or 5 months of taking classes with her, she is not someone you call ma'am. She's way too fun to be called ma'am. So, it just seems insane that I talked to her like we were in a black and white movie. And, like, kept going. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. That is enough of my weird brain. I hope you don't think I'm too out there. Anyway, next video will be a book video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.
Speech on. Stop recording video.